Welcome to Heritage Trace Studio. My name is Linda, and this is my Flosstube number 5. Today is August 26th. It is Tuesday, and usually I try to do my videos earlier in the day, but it's mid-afternoon already. So I hope that the lighting is okay. I know things look a little dark over here, but I hope it's going to be okay. Welcome so much to any new people who have stumbled across my Flosstube. I hope that you will like what you see. In particular, if there's anything that you like, that you want to comment on, that you have questions about, please feel free to, I encourage people to put comments in the section below. Reading the comments has been so gratifying. They're funny, they're insightful, they make me think. I'm able to provide some information. Sometimes people have questions. And I think that not only do the commenter and I get something from that exchange, but I'm sure other people who have watched the video and who like to read the comments are getting something out of it too. So I hope that you will consider that. I love to know where people are from. I love to know what kind of stitching you like to do. So please feel free to share any info about yourself and what you do. That's always nice to know. This medium is really great for building a sense of community. And I hope that you will feel that and want to like and subscribe and come back, get notified about new videos as they come up, so that you can take advantage of what we are able to get from this thing called Flosstube. I remember it's been almost 2 years ago now when I first stumbled across Flosstube, and I mean stumbled across. I was like, oh, this didn't exist when I was stitching back in the 80s and early 90s. This is cool. This is, wow, things have advanced so much in terms of technology and the kinds of things that we have, the resources that we have, and the sharing of knowledge. It's a very open, welcoming community. There's all kinds of people who post on Flosstube. It's really nice. I rarely watch much other television these days except for Flosstube. I do watch Red Sox baseball. I lived in the Boston area for a long time, and I'm a Red Sox fan, even when they're bad. And I'm a New England Patriots fan, and I was a Patriots fan before I ever moved to the Boston area, and then I lived there for 25 years, so I've been a Patriots fan a long, long time, way before they ever had any chance of winning any kind of championship. And kind of, they're in a rebuilding place now, and so it was kind of like that back when I first started watching them. I've been watching some of the WNBA, and hubby and I like to spend our our days and evenings doing things like that. He's a crossword puzzle person, and he has just recently taken up painting, paint by numbers, but it's advanced paint by numbers. It's the spaces on the pictures are, we're talking tiny little spaces, and he seems to have been enjoying it, so I'm really happy about that. And it, means that we're both here in the same room working on things while we have something going on in the background. For those of you who have returned, having watched me previously, thank you so much. That just means so much to me. It's very gratifying, and I really appreciate it. So in the comments, I just want to say that I know that for me, there's been a lot going on in terms of family health situations that have been on my mind a lot the last month and plus. Got some good news about a family member just this afternoon, which is awesome. Uh, Next week, I have a family member who's going to be having a little procedure, and I am thinking about her. And have a family member who was recently had some guidance to change some. She's going gluten-free and that kind of thing, which is always a big change of life for people. So just a lot of people going through a lot of stuff. Employment situations are sometimes in flux, and just, a lot of stuff. There's a number of people on Flosstube, and I'm not going to mention specific names because it's not my place to tell, but there are quite a few people on Flosstube who are having significant health challenges just now, and I've been keeping them in my thoughts a lot, and wish only the best and that things go as, everything gets resolved and they are able to resume all of their activities. Okay, so I use this planner for my cross stitch, for keeping track of my cross stitch, and sometimes I'm really good about doing it, and sometimes I'm not so good about doing it. I like it because it has nice big squares where you can put things. It has a lot of room for writing notes about things, and every month at the beginning of the month I put in the numbers that have been called for Wipgo. I'm going to talk about Wipgo during this video and how I've been using it. So I keep track of what the Wipgo numbers are and which projects I had listed on those numbers. Sometimes I pay attention to that in the month and sometimes I don't, and I'm going to share that kind of information. I also like this because there is a lot of room to just do kind of general writing. Sometimes I like to do just kind of what did they used to call it when I had writing class? Stream of consciousness writing. Just whatever I'm thinking about, someplace to jot it down. Maybe about cross stitch, may not be. There's a place in it to keep track of the stitch alongs that I participate in, any particular challenges that I'm doing. I haven't done any of those really since I started stitching again. To list finishes. It can be used a lot of different ways, and I like the format of it very much. So in August, here's a quick, I think I might be too close to the camera. I might have to move back, especially when I start showing things. It's a quick overview of August. Sean, the Periwinkle Stitcher, does something, I think it was Sean, I'm pretty sure it was, does something that I really like, and I have decided to start doing that as well. When I finish a skein of floss, I'm keeping the tabs and putting it in my planner. I'm going to keep that and see at the end of the year how much actual floss I go through, and if there's a certain kind of colors that I usually use, just, things like that. I use this to track when I stitch on certain things. Here it's where I picked up my stripes project again, and I worked on it this entire week, plus the following week. And I made a note of, so here's, right here, I was working on stripes, and then on the 23rd, finished it, hooray! I'm going to show that to you in a second here. So it's a really excellent way to keep track of things and know when I sit down to do Flosstube what to tell you about. I have started to set up September. I have a lot of sunflower stickers in September. And looking ahead, I can see that it's going to be an interesting month. The Lindy Stitches is hosting their next online event later in September, Harvest Moon Hangout. So if you're interested in that, if you've heard about any of her previous online activities, go to Lindy Stitches and lindystitches.com and read about the kinds of online things that they do. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, if you don't already know about it, you need to go check it out. Okay, so for the first order of business then is my finishes, and I'm going to move. Y'all are going to go on a little trip. We're going to move this back a little bit. Okay, so the first thing, this was probably 2/3 or more of the way done last time I showed it. And here is the finished, put a bird on it. This design is by Modern Folk Embroidery. I keep wanting to call it Modern Folk Art Embroidery, but it's Modern Folk Embroidery. I love this design. I enjoyed working on this so much. It is on Ancient, 20 count Ancient, by, I think that's Picture This Plus. I think it was. I'll put it in the information below. And yeah, it's all done. So this is a piece I want to get framed. Now, framing is expensive, you know? And I would really like to learn how to make my own frames. I think that would be a really useful skill to have. I have a compound miter saw so that I can, cut wood pieces. The thing that I don't have yet is a brad nailer to be able to do the miters on the corners really well. So that's my next piece of equipment that I need to really look at getting. And budget-wise, it hasn't been quite time yet to do that, but I am hoping that will happen soon, because I've been watching a lot of videos for people who make their own frames, and I really want to do that with this piece. So once again, put a bird on it, Sal. All finished, waiting for the day that it gets to be framed. So, and by the way, if you didn't know, SAL means stitch along, or some people call it start along. And I have joined a couple of SALs in the time that I've been stitching again. Like I said, I really came back to stitching about 2.5 years ago. So a previous finish that I had shown was Stars from the Stars and Stripes duo by Plum Creek and Shakespeare's Peddlar. This is the Plum Creek design, which I finished some time ago. And then I just finished stripes. Yay! And y'all, amazingly enough, they're like almost exactly the same size. Can you believe it? I was so excited when I put them together and measured. I was like, oh my gosh, I did something right. Oh. Although I actually, stars, the barn is one row column, not row, column, narrower than it should have been. So I had to kind of readjust the door, but you know, whatever. And I don't think anybody just glancing at it would know that. It's not a glaring problem. Couple things about this pattern is this chicken down here, I don't think shows up very well because it blends into the rock work on the barn, the stonework. I don't think I want to outline it though. So, but it's kind of funny. She's got a little red bow on her head. The shovel shows up well from a distance. It doesn't, when you're looking closely at it, it kind of blends in. This bird shows up well. This one gets, I think his head gets lost in the flag, but that's the way the pattern was, so okay. And yeah, stripes. Now, there is a third part to this particular project, which is the ampersand. There's an ampersand that goes between the two pieces. And so that is a current whip for me. I am hoping that this will be done by the end of the Labor Day weekend, which is coming up here. And then I can figure out exactly how I'm going to display these. At first I was thinking that they would all three be pillows, but the Stars and Stripes, they're 6 inches square. And I don't know, that's a little bit big in my mind for a pillow. I'm thinking maybe a stand-up. I haven't done those yet, so that might be something that I might do. And do I want to do all 3 pieces as a stand-up? Do I want to do the ampersand as a pillow still and situate it between the 2 stand-ups? I don't know. So I won't be fully finishing those soon, but I do want to finish the stitching on the end so that that project will be completely done. This fabric that it's on is parchment, 18 count. It's either Picture This Plus or Fiber on a Whim. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I should. I'm not sure where it, hold on. Do I have the, Fiber on a Whim. On Fiber on a Whim, is that right? Whim? Oh heavens, people. This is my mind these days. I get right on something and then all of a sudden it just goes whoop, right out of my brain. Welcome to my world. I know a lot of people can relate. It's a certain age. That's what I tell people. It's the age. It's not that I just can't remember anything. It's my age. So those are 2 finishes that I've had. And then my third one, I've had this pattern by Annie Bees for quite a while. Her pairs, there, the glare on that's not too bad. And I have some fabric that's kind of along the line of that green, so I am going to do these one day. But first, the first pair I'm going to make is, we received this pattern from the Fort Worth chapter of the Embroidery Guild of America that we belong to, and they recently were people were making pairs, and this is what I'm going to be putting on my pair. This was a freebie pattern that we were given, and I went into my fabric stash because I have a large, well, not as large a fabric stash as I used to have because I was a quilter well, I'm still a quilter, just not as frequently as I used to be. But I went into my fabric stash and pulled some fabrics, so I'll decide what I want to use for the back of the pair. If I remember correctly, the back is split in half, so you've got the front and then two pieces for the back. So you could either do the same fabric or, do two different fabrics. I think I kind of want to do two different fabrics. And that is going to be, that fully finished is going to be coming up pretty soon. I'm really anxious to see how my pair might turn out. I have, and a lot of people used felt for the stems and the leaves. I have some ultra suede that I think I'm going to try to use for that. So that's my other finish, is my piece for my pair. Okay, move that to we've already covered that pile. Okay, so Wipgo. If you've never heard of Wipgo before, it's based upon bingo, where you have a variety of projects that you set up, and a lot of people set up an actual board, like a bingo board. I didn't do a bingo board, I did a list. And so there are 25 spaces on a bingo board. I'm mostly, when I stitch on something that I really love, I tend to be monogamous. I don't pop around from one thing to another very frequently. So I don't have 25 whips. Yeah, but I have, a good dozen that are either had already been started or were things that I wanted to start very soon. So those are the things that I put on my Wipgo list, and I put each one on twice, and then I had a free spot. So here's my Wipgo list inside my planner, and you'll notice when so Jessie, I'll put her Flosstube channel in the box below because I can't remember it off the top of my head. She has both a Facebook page and a Flosstube channel, and she announces every month. She does the poll for what the numbers are going to be that you're supposed to concentrate on that month. So let's say you have set up your projects on an actual board, and she'll call out, and you number them, she'll call out the numbers. I just did a list and numbered my projects. And this month, the projects that she called were 14 and 18. 14, it turns out, actually that's for September. Let me back up to August. August were 12 and 15. So those are both projects that I had not worked on. They were going to be new starts. Not really the point of Wipgo. It's supposed to be works in progress, but everybody, the saying is your Wipgo, your board, your rules. You can really kind of make it flexible. You don't have to work on that project that month. You don't have to have things that are whips that you've had in progress for a while and you want to get some progress on it. It's very flexible. There's no right or wrong. One of the things that I had wanted to start this year was Feast of Friendship. Blackbird Designs. I absolutely love this. So many people have stitched it or are stitching it. A lot of people have had trouble with the footed bowl here ghosting out on their fabric. I think I'm going to head that off at the pass, and I'm going to change that thread to a slightly darker color, but for the most part I'm using the called for floss for this. And those are I've got some DMC on here, I think, but for the most part they're Gentle Arts. And look at those fabulous, fabulous colors. Especially that blue, love that blue. Ooh, Feast of Friendship. Now, can I get this up by Thanksgiving? I don't know. I did get it started though. Not a ginormous start, but it started. Here's something that Wipgo helped me learn this month. Being someone who just picked up cross stitch back in the day and just started, doing X's on squares, I never paid any attention really to the technique. I was just looking at the color that was supposed to be on that square and putting the color there. And that was the same pretty much when I came back to stitching a couple of years ago. And then I would wonder why the backs of my pieces always look so messy. Since I've been back, I have learned new ways to start threads, new ways to, well, not that many new ways to end. I wish I had better ways to end. But I did realize finally that when I was making my X's and then I'd move to the next one, because I would always stitch the same pattern, I was pulling my thread on the back of my piece diagonally across the square to start in the upper right hand corner. Like I always started from the time I can remember, upper right hand corner to lower left, and then upper left hand to lower right, which meant that on the next block, when I was ready to move over, if I was moving to the right, I would be going across that square on the back, or across the square, if I was moving to the left, across the square this way on the back. But it finally dawned on me, finally, I'm only 70 years old, finally dawned on me that you need to move your thread so that you are following the grid lines of your fabric. And then you don't have all that Xy stuff on the back and you don't have it be so messy. It's a hard thing to do when you have done it when you've just randomly stitched your whole life. So I'm trying to retrain, I'm trying to teach this old girl new tricks and work on paying attention to the way I'm moving across my projects so that my backs look better. Now, do people go and look at my backs? Not really, but when I have finished things in the past and put them in a frame, I do like to put them under glass. I have had experience, both personally and someone I know, having something happen to a piece that wasn't protected by glass. So a consequence of on just going willy-nilly across your project is that you may get a section of your project that is thicker in the back. It's got threads built up, and so it doesn't lay as close. It lays closer to the glass than the sections that don't have all that thread built up. So I do want my backs to be neater, not because I'm worried about people's judgments, but because I just want them to look nicer. So like I said, I'm trying to teach myself to do that. It's not easy. Every once in a while, I'll find myself not paying attention and reverting to old habits. But that's the beginning of Feast of Friendship. And the other project that was called for August was Gather In. Again, it's a new start. I didn't start it in August. I can't remember if it's already been called once during this year. I don't think so, because I sometimes change things around depending on if I was working on something and I didn't want to stop working on it and a new project was called during the month, then sometimes I wouldn't move on to the new project. I'd just keep working on what I was working on. And again, my Wipgo, my rules. So I don't know if I'm going to get Gather In started this year or not, but we'll see. Because now that I have started Feast of Friendship, it's one that I would really like to get finished. And like I said, can I get it finished in time for Thanksgiving? Because that's the time of year when I would put it up. To me, it kind of resembles Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays of the year. Family and friends and all that good stuff. I don't know. We'll see. So for now, he's going to go back in his bag. I made this bag. Love that fabric. I think I've shown it before. So that was August number 12 Wipgo. And as I said, the other Wipgo for August was Gather In. However, with the new SAL that was started, 13 for the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, that SAL, which is hosted by the two Nancys, Stitcher with a laughing face, smiling face, I'll put it below. I don't remember which one it is. And the disorganized Stitcher. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I'll put it below. They're both named Nancy. And they got together and created this stitch along where the idea is that if you started at the beginning of June and did one appropriate pattern, i.e. patriotic, each month, by the time the anniversary comes, next 4th of July, you would have 13 finished patriotic projects for display. So I love doing patriotic stitching. It has always been one of my favorite types of stitching. I have a number of patriotic pieces that I have shown y'all in the past. And so since Stars and Stripes is so close to being completed, for that SAL, I'm going to, well, let me talk about that in a minute. I want to finish about Wipgo. Sorry, I digress from my topic. So instead of working on Gather In, I worked on stripes to get stripes finished. Now, in September, normally the numbers are called on the 25th of the month for the following month. Jessie actually announced them a little early this year, or this month, because Labor Day weekend, people traveling, end of summer, busy time, all that good stuff. And so she announced them a little early, and they were numbers 14 and 18. 14 was my second calling for Stars and Stripes. Isn't that funny? So that number 14, I almost have done before September even starts. And that's my objective, to have the stitching done. That ampersand is going to be done by the end of, before the first rolls run next week. So, yeah, that means I'm going to have a free spot. So I will either continue working on, maybe I'll continue working on Feast of Friendship. Maybe I'll continue working on something else that I've got going. I'll show you some of those whips that I have that I really want to make some progress on. The other number that was called is Snow Queen by Mirabilia. She scares me. I haven't started her. I want to start her. I think she's gorgeous. How do you read those patterns? They are so complicated and so small. To read from the paper pattern, there's no way. I like working from a PDF so I could put it on my iPad and use GoodNotes and blow it up and be able to mark it off like I have a marker and I'm marking it off. That works so well for me. I love that. Again, another thing that stitchers have now, and other software where they can use their electronic devices to stitch by. I am almost at the point where I will only buy PDFs, but Mirabilia doesn't do PDFs. And I love Fancy Ladies. I always have. So I really want to do Snow Queen. She's one of my Wipgos for this month, but I tried scanning it and putting it into GoodNotes, and it didn't go well. The scanning didn't go well. It's such a big chart, and to be able to scan it so that it's legible and logical. And do y'all have a trick that you use to do big projects like that? If you stitch using an electronic device, if you have tricks, please put it in the comments and tell me, because I don't think I'm going to start Snow Queen this month, even though she's the Wipgo. I'm going to do something else. So that means for September, I get to choose for both of my numbers what I'm going to be working on. Okay, the point I want to make about Wipgo is that you can move stuff around. There's no rules. You can do whatever you want. You can use it to help yourself be motivated to finish a project that's been sitting around for a long time, that you'd like to get finished, that you'd like to have in a frame or up on your walls or as a soft finish, whatever. It's just a really good tool. And for me, it has been a really great thing. And I'm so glad I did it. And I am going to be doing it again. I probably will always do Wipgo. Whether I will stick to works in progress or continue to add new starts in there, I don't know yet, but I really recommend you think about Wipgo if you haven't already. If you have special things that you do for your Wipgo that you want to share, please do that in the comments. I'm sure I would like to see what those things are, and probably others would like to see as well. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to share is for the 13th, for the 250th anniversary, 13 for the 250th, I pulled a whole bunch of my patriotic patterns and put them all in one bag. And then each month, as I have the ability to work on a patriotic project, hopefully I'll be able to finish one each month, I'll go in that bag to pull the next one. Now, if it's a big project, you can kind of say, well, I'm going to kind of divide this into sections, and I'll do a section a month. You can do that and have that count, each section count as one of your 13. Again, no police, no rules, you know, but it's just something to help you, to give you some guidance. If you're like me and have 20 or more patriotic patterns and you haven't touched any of them for a while, it's a motivator. It helps you. So this, now having said that I have that many, or probably more than that many patriotic patterns, this is a new one that I just bought. Oh my gosh. Have you seen this? I mean, seriously, look at that. It's got red, white, and blue. It's got spools of thread. It's fabulous. I love it. I have never done this kind of a finish on a project. I'm so excited. This is going to be my patriotic stitch for September. And I have a feeling that I will be focusing on it quite a bit in place of one of those Wipgos that I'm not going to be working on. I need to look at my threads, and I'm probably going to use the DMC that she offers. What is the thread that she recommends? Weeks. Oh, I have a good collection of Weeks dye works, because I really do love the threads with variegation in it. So I probably will be kitting that up by the time the weekend is over, because that's going to be in my upcoming plans, my upcoming stitches. I'm so excited. I am so excited. I also am going to try to spend some time during September on another one of my patriotic stitches, which is Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. I have not touched this since probably the beginning of June. I don't have the whole alphabet done even. Yeah. So I want to make progress on this, and so I would like to have that get some attention during the month of September. September, by the way, has always been one of my favorite months of the year. Living in the Northeast, it's turning, chilly, and by the end of the month, the nights are a little chilly. You can cozy up, and if you have a fireplace, you can maybe have it be the first time you use your fireplace for the fall season. Or I miss New England in the fall. I really do. It's my ultimate favorite season, and September is one of my favorite months. The sky is usually such a clear blue. I always think of the September skies were that clear, clear blue on September 11th. And I worked at Harvard University, and my office was on the 7th floor of a building that my office was angled. It was weird the way it was angled, set in the building. And so it happened to look out towards the Logan Airport. And as we were learning about what was happening in the skies that day, I noticed that the planes I always saw up in the air out of my office window, that they weren't there. They would just, they were in the process of grounding planes, getting them out of the sky, getting them out of danger. And in the next, I don't remember how long it was that things didn't fly out of Logan, but the absence of that, you get used to, you don't think about it. We get a lot of small planes over our house here because there's a small airport nearby, and they, I think FedEx operates out of there. They get a lot of cargo planes going in there. They, people who have small private planes go in and out of there. Helicopters go in and out of there. So there's often vehicles going over us, but you don't really notice them when you get used to it. But you notice when they're not there. You notice if there's a complete day without any of that sound. So, yeah. Anyway, the skies were that amazing clear blue that day. I'll never forget that. Just like I'll never forget. This is in my September. I've already marked the day. I remember the 11th. Okay. Moving on to happier things. Another thing that I plan to try to get some work in on this upcoming month is the sea turtle for my sister. My sister Barbara. I'm doing this sea turtle for her, and I haven't touched it in over a month, and I feel bad, and so I want to make progress. Some people do things in their stitching that I'm thinking about. They'll have a certain thing that they stitch on a Sunday. Every Sunday they stitch on that thing. I know that Sarah from Sarah's Stitching Spot was working on a Christmas stocking for one of her grandchildren, and Sundays were the day that she worked on that. I like that idea. And so I'm thinking that this is going to become a Sunday stitch. Every Sunday I will work on that. And because hubby and I love to watch football so much, and football season is about to start, and on Sundays, that's what we do. We are here, we are watching football, we have whatever the thing on YouTube where you can get all the games and look at multiple screens. I mean, yeah, we're obsessed, we're totally obsessed. But this is going to be my Sunday stitch while we're watching football until I get him done. I just decided that. I just now decided that. Y'all were here for it. So that's going to be in my plans. Oh, and here are the threads for that. Are they not fabulous? Okay. I don't remember what's in here, what this is. Oh, so this is gather in. Will I start gather in this month? I don't know. Again, it reminds me a lot of Thanksgiving. It's got that fall vibe. I'm all up ready for fall vibe. I want fall vibe. I don't know if I will get to that or not. Probably I should concentrate on Barbara's turtle. I really should. I should concentrate on Barbara's turtle, not start gather in. Okay, there's a decision I just made. This is, so this is Harvest Moon. If I get the, what's that little baby called with the little mattress thread white and blue. If I get that done before the end of the month, then I might move on to my next patriotic stitch for the SAL. I'm going to do, it wasn't really intended, I don't think, to be a patriotic piece, but Harvest Moon, fall, and a big flag. What could be better than both in one thing? So this will be my next patriotic stitch. So I'll move on to that after thread white and blue. This was an early bag that I made. I don't do the vinyls anymore, and I don't like having to do a binding on them. I'd rather do fabric and do an enclosed. Anyway, that will be another project. So, I said last month that I was gonna work on the piece by Primrose Cottage with the long piece with the bees, but I was gonna do them as pillows. I still wanna do that. I didn't get it started, it was last month. I still wanna do that. So I think I'm gonna have to clone myself because it's a lot in plan. I always overplan. I always overplan. But you know. Okay, so I don't have very much haul because I'm on an austerity plan right now. Two things I'm going to show you that I purchased some time ago, but if you're looking for cool stickers for your planner or for other things, these are both really cool books, especially this one. I didn't know that I liked something called Cottage Core, but I do. And I've used a lot of these stickers in my book. And this Botanicals, this is really good too. And both of these are these both by The Simple Life? I think so. No, this one's Peter Pauper Press. But some really cool, and I got them on Amazon. Hate to say it, made them richer. We call Amazon the Getting Place. Got them on the Getting Place, but I do like the stickers. So I recommend those. And then the other thing is I am only in one something of the month club now. It's thread, and it is from, the name of it is Traditional Stitches, and they're in Calgary. So I don't know if my subscription rate is gonna jump up now with the tariffs. I don't know. But it's Gentle Arts thread. I did not have much Gentle Arts thread in my stash, and I had gotten some when I started doing one of the SALs that I'm still in, which is Dasher and Dancer, and I love it. I love stitching with it. So I decided I needed to build a collection of Gentle Arts threads. So I believe that this came right after my last Flosstube. I might have shown it to you, but I think it came after. Neverly. And then this one just came the other day. Why did I tape it shut? I don't even know. Or maybe that's the one that just came and this is the previous one. Like I say, I don't really know. And I don't know why this is all taped shut. I'll just show it to you this way and turn it like that so that there's no glare. So that's my only haul, other than the sticker books I had before, like I said. So this is my only recent haul, is these 2 thread shipments. Be adding those to my stash. I have one last order of business, and that is that I have a giveaway. So for the giveaways, you need to be 18 years of age or older, because I have to be able to legally ask you for your address. You need to be a subscriber to my channel and like the video. And so here are the 2 giveaways. The first one, they're both seasonal, but this one is for a little bit farther out. Look at him. Isn't he cute? Snowflake Goat. And this is by, the company is called, or the designer is called Counting Puddles, Puddles. And they are on Instagram. You can follow them on Instagram at counting_puddles. And this little guy is, stitch count is 59 by 65, so, you know, can whip him up pretty fast. I think he's so cute. And yeah, so if you are interested in perhaps receiving this particular design, please, in your comments, include the word sweater. SWEATER, sweater, because he has one on. Isn't it fancy? Sweater for Snowflake Goat. And the other giveaway is for Halloween season, Halloween Quaker by Primrose Cottage. So if you would like to win this, to receive this chart, corn, put corn, C-O-R-N, in your comments, corn. So those are the 2 giveaways for this time. And again, thank you so much for joining me. The time goes so fast. I'm almost at an hour already, and so I want to end so that you can go on and watch other Flosstubes. Or I do hope that you will take some time to check out other creators out there. Their content is so great. Today, for the first time, I watched Jodie SimplyStitchingOcala. First time I'd heard about her from other Flosstubers, but first time she'd ever come up in my feed. And it was fun to see the kinds of things that she likes to do. She, well, I'll just let you watch. I'm not gonna make a comment about her content. It was very good and very heartfelt. I also, last night I watched Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, her most recent, she did a palooza of samplers, y'all. Oh my goodness, the woman is phenomenal. When I grow up, I either want to be Carol or I want to be Vonna Pfeiffer, or maybe a combination of the 2, because if I can still look forward to growing up, maybe I can somehow combine those 2. There are others, you know, but those are the ones who I most frequently go, oh, I really admire her. Okay, friends, I'm rambling, so I'm going to end this. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you enjoy as we move into September, wherever you are, that it's a nice season for you. And I hope that you get a lot of time for satisfying stitching. Thanks again. Have a good one.